How do you introduce your dad for such a prestigious award? I've been running through this through my head all day and all week and all month, trying to figure out what to say to introduce my dad. And there's really nothing I really can say because everything was said on the video. Really all I have to say is thanks for turning my brother and I into the young men that we are becoming, and I say keep going. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Tany.
Thank you, Sam. A little disappointed. I thought there'd be confetti. I'm deeply humbled and honored by this honor. First thing I'd like to do is congratulate the other inductees. It's truly an honor to share the stage with you tonight. I'd like to thank Richard Curry. He was the gentleman that nominated me for this award. I'd like to thank the people who voted for me. I'd like to thank the people in businesses who purchased congratulatory ads for me. And I'd like to thank the people that appeared on that video say all those lies about me. You know, I dearly wish my mother and father would be here. I lost them both to that hideous disease of cancer. They were important people to shape me how I am. I learned my work ethic from my dad and my compassion for people from my mother. But I do have members of my family here tonight, and they're sitting right over here. And I have 4 sisters. I'm right in the middle. I have 2 older sisters, 2 younger sisters. And growing up in a family of 4 headstrong Italian women wasn't easy. Those hand-me-down clothes were a pain in the butt. They've always supported me with my unique sense of humor and my pranks, my countless pranks. 2 of my sisters are here tonight. In fact, my niece Nicole, my niece Brooke are here. Could you guys stand up? Good-looking crew right over here. Could you guys stand up, please? Please stand up. I'm here tonight not as an athlete. It's what I did in the community as a contributor. And I'm the first to admit, the very first to admit, I was just an average athlete. There are 2 things that kept me from excelling in sports. It was Stroh's beer and women. Not particularly in that order, either. I was 10 years old when I tried out for my first knot-hole baseball team. And I'm going to look right over here to a friend of mine, Dean Taylor, because his cousin was the coach, Rod Luplow. And I remember this as if it were yesterday. Tryouts were behind Zawocky School. Again, I was 10 years old. Tryouts were behind Zawocky School. The name of the team was the Economy Builders. Rod Luplow, Al's younger brother, was the coach. And they only had 12 uniforms. Well, they weren't exactly uniforms. They were shirts and hats. Everybody wore jeans. And 15 kids tried out. So if you do the math, there's 3 kids going home. So to weed them out, this is what Rod Luplow did. He lined them all up at shortstop, and he was at home plate, and he hit them all a hot smash. Bob Andrzejewski, Cat Pullman, you know what a hot smash is. Hit each individual hot smash. If you caught that hot smash, you're on the team. If you didn't, you weren't. I missed the hot smash. I missed the hot smash. Why my buddies continued to practice the game that I love, the game of baseball. I had to go home. I had to go home because we didn't have enough uniforms. And then I had to go home and tell my parents that I didn't make this team. And it was kind of a turning point in my life because, you know, I could go home and complain about it. But at the age of 10, I used it as a learning experience. I was smart enough to use it as a learning experience. What it taught me was that the big guy upstairs was going to throw me some curveballs in my life. And it's how I fought those curveballs off is what's going to shape me as a person. And God knows He's thrown me a lot of curveballs in my life. And I do a number of speaking engagements for the Hall of Fame around the county. You don't know how many Lions clubs and Kiwanis clubs and there are in Saginaw County until you have an organization like this. They come out of the woodwork. And so I do a lot of speaking for these groups, and they always ask, when I'm done, we do a question and answer, I always ask the same question. Why do I do what I do in a community? And there's basically two reasons. The first reason are my two sons. My son Sam and my son Joe. Joe, could you stand up a second? The quietest kid you ever want to meet. Thank you, Joe. I have two great kids. I have two great kids, Sam and Joe. I'm really glad they got my good looks. I'm elated they didn't get my Italian nose. But I've never had a problem with either one of them. And as a parent this day and age, there's a lot going out there, and it's a daunting task to raise young adults. And I turned out with two great kids. I'd like to thank their mother, Heidi, and their stepfather, Dan, for helping me raise two outstanding young men. The second reason I do what I do is because of Wayne Gretzky. And you probably think, what the heck does Wayne Gretzky got to do with Jack Tany? Well, if you don't know Wayne Gretzky, arguably one of the finest hockey players to ever lace up a pair of skates, he holds or shares 61 NHL records. 61 records. He got his heyday with the Edmonton Oilers. I don't even have to look. Heyday with the Edmonton Oilers. He had a stop with the LA Kings. Went over to the St. Louis Blues. Then he ended his career with the New York Rangers. And it was his final year, he announced his retirement in 1999. And he would go to all these rinks and he'd shower them with gifts. Wayne Gretzky said this greatest gift that he received was from his own teammates from the New York Rangers. They got him a leather easy chair shaped like a baseball glove. And he said, well, he's a hockey player. What's that got to do? Well, Wayne Gretzky grew up wanting to be shortstop for the New York Yankees. And he was a great baseball player, but hockey took him in a different direction. And he has the most extensive baseball card collection in North America. He's a huge baseball fan. What made this leather easy chair shaped like a baseball glove so cool was the brass plaque affixed to the bottom from his New York Ranger teammates. It simply said, "Thank you for your passion to the sport of hockey. I want to thank you for letting me share my passion for sports in Saginaw County with you." Along the way, when I was a little boy, growing up, I followed the careers of Al Luplo, Ron Stelter, Webster Kirksey. When I got a little bit older, I followed the careers of Tom Slade, Cal O'Neill, Cap Holman, and yes, Tuck Bedford. Tonight, I would like to thank them for allowing me into their select fraternity. Thank you very much.